Hi, everyone, and welcome to How to Get More Direct Bookings for Your Hotel. My name is Victoria Cohen, and I'm the Content Marketing Manager here at Cyba. Thank you all for joining us today. A few housekeeping items before we begin. If you're tweeting with us, tweet using the handle @Cyba_HQ at that handle. If you have any questions throughout the course of the presentation, use the question panel in Zoom to ask those questions, and we will be dedicating time at the end of the presentation to answering them. And we are recording this webinar for playback later on. So if you missed something or you'd like to share with a colleague, don't worry, we have it all recorded. So I'd like to introduce my two esteemed colleagues, our experts for today. We have Sam Siegel. He's the Director of Sales with over 10 years of experience in digital marketing and a keen eye for travel trends. He's been seeing a lot of what's been going on with the reopening of the country and subsequent hospitality trends. So we're really excited to have him here to share his insights with us. And Jacqueline Phillips, Cyba account manager. She has several hospitality clients and has worked to come up with several different strategies for them, and is also seeing on the ground level what is going on in the hospitality industry right now. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for the wonderful introduction, Vicki. Jacqueline, stoked to talk to you today, and obviously thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. We're excited to dig into this topic.
Yeah, excited to be here with you all talking about this topic today.
Yeah, it is a good one. So really quickly, we'll run through our agenda. And the main thing is what we've noticed from both trends that we've seen in the news and also from our own sales force is that as the country slowly opens, people are looking to travel again. So what does that mean? What do those travelers look like? And specifically, what do they want? So we'll be going through both the trends that are expected for the hospitality industry to sort of rebound, and also we'll give you a snapshot of what the target traveler looks like right now. Then we'll give you 4 recommendations, best practices that we've seen from different clients and also different exemplars in the industry to see how travelers are being reassured by them. We'll wrap up, as we always do, with some key takeaways, and then we will take questions from the audience. So before we begin, we want to open up a conversation a little bit to those of you who are joining us today. So we're going to launch a quick poll to see who's with us so that we can get a sense of what types of different hotels we're working with. So take a minute just to let us know what kind of hotel you are. Boutique, regional hotel, all the way through to luxury and extended stay. All right, we'll give it just another few seconds. Okay. Oh, looks like we're running the gamut here. I'll give you just a few more seconds, anyone who's just snuck in at the last minute before I close the poll. All right, let's see what we got here. So it looks like we got a little bit of everything other than just huge national chains. So we have boutique. Looks like our majority here for today is international, but we have luxury and extended stay. So we're covering the entire spectrum, which is great. We're prepared to talk a little bit about each of those. And thanks for letting us know who you are so that we can really tailor this conversation to best meet your needs.
Yeah, nice. It's kind of good to get a better gauge of who we're speaking with today. So thanks everyone for participating. But I mean, I think, regardless of if you're coming from a large property, small property, a resort, or somewhere, property in the city, I think all of us can kind of find some common ground, in navigating this new environment and what we're facing, right? I'm sure you've all been tasked with, trying to figure out just exactly how to reapproach reopening your properties. And for folks who have been open this whole time, how exactly do you position the messaging to your customers to let them know that you're there for them and open for business. So what we kind of wanted to start with was to just, let you know that there is hope. Taking a look at this graph, we can kind of see the occupancies here are forecasted to increase over the next 7 months, which is great news. This graph shows how the hospitality industry in other countries are coming back from this. And this shows us, how we're projecting to return, based on previous historical disruptions. So we can kind of model off what our hospitality industry is going to look like based on, Italy and China's projections, right? So the main question that Sam and I are here to address today is, how does the hospitality industry, approach a new normal when it comes to marketing and advertising? And that's kind of what we're going to address today.
Yeah, thanks for that explanation. That's a sweet graph too, by the way. I think before we talk about, what travelers want right now and some ways to deliver that message, I think it's important to dig in to the role of OTAs specifically and how they've changed the way people book travel over the years. So for a lot of folks, this might be pretty basic, but refresher. Going back to basics never hurts. So quickly, OTAs, right? They stand for online travel agents. Essentially, these are third-party booking sites like Expedia and Priceline, which offer travelers basically an easy-to-search database of travel providers or hotels in this case. So these sites obviously allow customers to search for hotels, compare prices, and then make a booking through the site, right? So it's all about price and convenience. Almost 40% of all US digital bookings are accounted for through OTAs, right? And it makes sense because, as an end user, you prefer the simplicity and ease of comparing thousands of options in one place. However, as we know right now, customer needs are changing as a result of COVID. So what we found is price is no longer the primary motivator when it comes to end users looking for their travel needs, right? It still is important. However, it's not the number one priority list. So we're going to go over that right now. I think that's a good opportunity to tap you in, Jacqueline, if you want to talk about now what customers are seeking, and then we're going to dig into specifically what type of messaging brands can use to hit on these new needs.
Yeah, and just to piggyback, off of what Sam said, the opportunity that properties should be taking right now here is to come out of this with, higher direct bookings, right? So by offering, different things like best rate guarantees and stay or loyalty benefits and rate parity, this, we can take this opportunity to kind of have your brand shine and how we can help you do so. And really meet your customers, where they are and providing, support in your local communities. So we'll dig into how we're going to help you guys do that in just a second. Awesome. Yeah, so the first tactic that we are going to recommend is, putting an emphasis on domestic and local travel. So now more than ever, one of the largest increases in demand we have seen is through domestic searches. So due to the global pandemic that we're currently in, folks are really wanting to stay, closer to home. There's been a bit of a shift from travelers being attracted to, more crowded destinations to much smaller cities and villages, national parks, and things like that. So that are obviously accessible without having to get on a plane. So staycations have become a huge local opportunity to tap into after a lot of travelers had to cancel their plans due to, airport or destination closures. So we can take like the Mandarin Boston as an example here. They are using their on-site marketing tactics to promote staycations. So gearing your messaging toward encouraging local or domestic adventures is really going to cater well to the current audiences, as those are the customers who are looking to stay at your property. And just according to Cody, a stat here that, we found that hotel stays are actually expected to recover a lot faster than the airline industry. So that's going to take a little bit longer to ramp back up. So, because of this, we will likely see domestic travel to continue to be a dominant trend and making, you know, the accommodations you have available, things like ample parking, shuttle services, and access to, you know, public transit will be really imperative to showcase in your messaging. So reinforcing these benefits as a part of your existing marketing strategy could attract travelers, you know, who are planning to drive to their destinations.
Yeah, that's interesting, Jacqueline. I think also now I know we're seeing increases in a lot of location-based searches, which is making sense. So you can see the example here of hotels in Boston. So it should always be part of a digital strategy, but definitely now is focusing on those longer tail keyword terms that, you know, sometimes involve locations in major cities or wherever your business is located, both from a organic and a paid search standpoint as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, even you know, even keywords like staycation are trending up in terms of monthly searches. So these are what folks are searching for. You want to make sure that, you know, your brand is front and center, both either from a paid advertising standpoint or just from an organic search standpoint, search results standpoint.
Definitely. Yeah, so tactic 2, reassure safety. So, you know, right now creating peace of mind for the customer is going to be huge and really key in order to drive bookings. So, you know, your property should be utilizing your current advertising and or marketing tactics to make your customers aware of any new established standard operating cleaning procedures and, you know, any new technologies that your hotel has implemented as a result of COVID-19. So customers will be, especially more than ever, like really keenly receptive, and will be looking for this type of messaging from any properties or locations that they plan to stay at and bring their families to. So as soon as a customer enters your website, they should be made pretty aware of any new procedures that have been implemented by, you know, you and your team. So whether that lives as a separate page on your website or is showcased in some type of promo bar or welcome prompt. And we can take Shore Leave that's on the slide Shore Lodge in McCall, Idaho as an example. You know, they've catered a whole entire page to ensuring that all customer safety measures are being met. So they've outlined, you know, any new health procedures that they have, travel information and protocol that follows the state's guidelines. As well as, you know, pledge their commitment to cleanliness. So making sure, you know, that peace of mind is top of mind is going to be a really easy step to gain that trust of your customers.
That has a nice ring to it. Peace of mind is top of mind.
Exactly.
No, there's a ton of different ways you can do that, whether it's through email, whether it's, you know, on your website via, you know, an on-screen pop-up.
Yeah.
Doing it through SMS, I've seen it in SMS messages. So texting, you know, the different safety precautions after a booking. So super important.
Yeah, really utilizing all your channels to get that across.
For sure. I'll take this. Discounts, yeah. Price as a lever, essentially. I hope I don't contradict myself from the beginning, but although price is obviously, I've been talking about, no longer the primary motivator, discounts and deals are a lever that you can pull, right? And you should. You can see a couple examples here on the right-hand side. Bungalows, Key Largo, they're offering limited early access rate for folks that book now until Halloween of this year. Another kind of strategy that we're seeing is brands getting, you know, creative in ways that, you know, people can earn points. So for example, Hilton, I know, is offering 100,000 Hilton points plus a free weekend for people that sign up for their Amex card, right? We've seen emails including a promotion for healthcare workers, which is pretty awesome, right? So I think if, you know, you have a hotel and you have a reopening date set, you know, you might be able to consider giving guests a great deal on your reopening and do it in a tiered manner, right? That's a great way to increase, you know, your direct bookings. You want to increase the average booking value without having to try to give a bunch of discounts and hurt your margins. So if you can't give a discount, you know, it's all about getting creative. You can add in complementary services such as, you know, you can throw in a breakfast, coupons, valet parking, I think at the end of the day, with your messaging and your discount strategy, it's all about getting creative and making sure that whatever promotion you're going to give clearly states the benefits of booking direct, right? That's what we want these end users to do, is not to go to the OTAs, but to book directly on your website. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is cancellation flexibility, right? So, you know, many cancellation policies are pretty complicated. You know, hotels have different rules depending on how many days before the check-in, the booking's canceled. You know, during COVID, right? You need to be putting your hotel cancellations policy front and center. You know, so that's either, again, on the homepage, whether it's through exit intent pop-ups, whether it's through sticky bars or just email campaigns, even in your, you know, your paid search ads. You know, reinforcing that flexibility is going to go a long way. So from a messaging standpoint, you certainly want to inspire confidence without sounding too pushy. And, you know, you might even want to consider updating your cancellation policies in a different font color I've seen to really showcase your flexibility. You know, and all these tactics that we talked about aren't going to be the sole reason a guest decides to book, but it's the little things that, you know, make that big difference, and that it might just be the kind of reassurance, you know, and the nudge that they need to feel secure and confident enough to, you know, book and stay at your hotel.
Great. Well, thank you for those 4 recommendations. Just to recap what Sam and Jacqueline have gone over. Basically, this is the time for hotels of all sizes to really pay attention to what the trends are in guests' travel preferences. So as we mentioned, local is key, and none of these are secrets. You can sort of see whether you're looking at Google or looking up, you know, your favorite data analyst's website. These things are becoming clear. So it's really important that you take advantage of this opportunity to really push your own brand and stand out, because OTAs are really not the dominating force right now. And just to recap the 4 specific tactics that we were given, it's important to recognize that consumers right now at this stage of the country's reopening are interested in staying local. Words like staycation are trending. So if you can use that in your messaging and use that in your targeting, that can definitely be an advantage. Safety procedures are paramount. Some of the examples we provided dedicated an entire long scrolling page to it, and I really think that this cannot be overstated. Though price is not the ultimate deciding factor, you can still use price as a lever, and you can always bundle other perks in just to make your guests feel special. And you just don't want to be that that hotel that gets blasted on the internet for having an absolutely impossible cancellation flexibility. It's a tough time for everyone. And even if you do have a cancellation, you want this to be an opportunity for you as a brand to show how flexible you are, and also how seamless an experience you can make this for your customers. If you do want them to return in the future, you want all positive touch points. So now we're going to take some questions that have been rolling in throughout the presentation. The first one that came in is, will flexible cancellation policies lead to more cancellations? That's a good one. Sam, do you want to take that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Short answer, yeah. But I think you got to hold on a second. You know, you mentioned it, or you just mentioned it, Vicky. You have to ask yourself, do you want to be the hotel that has a super strict cancellation policy and gets blasted on social media? Probably not. Is it worth it? Probably not. You know, I've seen stats out there that show that properties with a flexible cancellation policy actually receive 2 times as many bookings as all other policies. So, you know, that means you can potentially double up the number of bookings by opting for a more flexible cancellation policy, and, you know, only risk a small increase in potential cancellations. So certainly worth it, for sure. Definitely during these times as well.
Yeah, just because there's a flexible cancellation policy, that's not going to be the reason why someone cancels. They're going to cancel because something else has come up, and then they're going to
Exactly.
remember how
Right.
wonderful it was to deal with you throughout that process, because no one cancels for fun. Okay, next question. What is the best way to showcase your updated safety measures? It's a good one for Jacqueline.
Yeah, great question. So, I think we talked a little bit about how reinforcing safety precautions and, creating that peace of mind with the user and customer to show them kind of what they can expect when staying with you is so important, right? So you'll want to make the customer abundantly aware of any accommodating procedures that you might have. So for this, we'd recommend having some type of promo bar that either lives static across the whole website and shows the user as soon as you enter the homepage, or, some type of welcome prompt that also will address all your new safety precautions that will pop right as the user enters the website as well. So, you want to make it top of mind, like I was saying before, because that's really, as far as priorities go, that's huge on people's lists due to the current environment.
Yeah, and we've been seeing with a lot of clients in the hospitality industry that our on-site solutions triggering as soon as you get onto the homepage have been a really good way of getting that message top of mind, like you said.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we have time for one last question. Okay. I'm a small hotel that can't offer a price discount. What other offers can I use? Sam, you want to take that one?
Sure. I mean, we talked about this before. Not all hotels are able to give a discount. That's cool. Like I said, it's all about getting creative. We have a number of clients running seasonal promotions. So that's a great way to bring back customers who have stayed with you before. Another thing you can do is bundle amenities. Like I mentioned earlier, the continental breakfast, access to the gym, valet parking. Those are all great ways to increase that average booking value without sacrificing a ton of margin dollars. So just got to do whatever works for you and get creative and, get the right tech programs in there that can help you test out these different, incentives and discounts to make sure that you get it dialed into your liking.
Yeah. And this is just a really great time for your brand to shine through, especially if you don't have the ability to offer those discounts. Like, dazzle your customers in any way you can, and it'll probably go a long way when everything is so fraught right now. People just are looking for an escape. So have your brand associated with that escape. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Jacqueline and Sam, for such great recommendations for hotels of all sizes. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at marketing@saiba.com. You can tweet at us at @Saiba_HQ, and just keep the conversation going and reach out to us if you have any other questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time today, everyone. It was great to speak with you all, and please follow up if you have any questions.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Hit us